Welcome to the flip side of adversity. I am your host, Dr. Virgia Jackson, and tonight's conversation is one my heart has been waiting for. Although she gets me all the time, we're talking about access, purpose, and sisterhood. Three words that carry deep weight for women right now, especially in this season. Because let's be honest, we're living in a season where so many women are tired of always having to be strong all by themselves. We're craving spaces where we can actually exhale to be seen and an opportunity for us to be poured into. Access means breaking down the barriers that keep us from the tables where transformation actually happens. Purpose reminds us that our presence is not accidental, it's actually divine. And sisterhood, that's the bridge that keeps us standing when life tries to knock us down. Well, my guest tonight, the incredible Robin Maddox, has made it her mission to remind every woman that she matters. And through the She Shine conference, she's creating a movement of faith, healing, empowerment, and she is changing lives. So tonight, let's talk about what happens when women link arms, walk in purpose, and shine together. We'll be right back. Trauma, toxic stress, broken habit, and hurting heart don't define destiny, but peace isn't passive. It requires an exchange. To create a flip and access peace in the middle of the pieces, you are challenged to make an exchange of the lies that have kept you mentally hostage in basement moments. Resilience isn't about bouncing back, but bouncing forward. Living Strong, the flip side of adversity, brings powerful stories and fearless conversations from experts in the field of business, relationships, emotional, physical, and mental health, and faith-based communities. Each episode creates a brave space with powerful tools from authentic connections. Tune in as we dig in with Dr. Jackson on the flip side of adversity. So I mentioned her in the opening, but now let me tell you a little bit more about her. Robin Maddox is the founder, president, and CEO of Celebrating Sisterhood and chief networking officer of Shine Connection LLC. Robin is known among her peers and colleagues to be a consummate collaborator and motivator who enjoys the challenge of working and assisting individuals in achieving their desired goals by using her Christian faith to guide her professional and personal growth as well as development. Now, this is an amazing bio. She has pages and pages of a bio, but for me, she is my co-conspirator in shenanigans. I am so excited to be able to welcome to the flip side of adversity, Robin Shine Maddox.
Hi,
Welcome
Dr.
to the
Fisher.
show, my sister.
Oh, thank you for having me. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. You and I together,
Yeah.
on this platform.
It's risky. It's risky.
It's risky. Listen, let's just have fun with this.
Always
Okay.
with you by my side.
Okay.
You know, I'm excited for you. Congratulations on 6 years.
Yeah.
6 years
Thank
of She
you.
Shines conference.
Thank you.
But you've done some really bold, innovative,
Hmm.
and risk-taking things this year
Mhm.
for a really deep purpose.
Yes.
And what does reaching this milestone, personally as well as in your ministry, what does it mean to you?
It really means a lot to me, um, in terms of my spiritual development
Okay. Okay.
as well as my personal development.
Mhm.
My spiritual development, first of all, as you mentioned, this is our 6th year.
Yeah.
I really thought back in 2019, that I was one and done. And I was fine with that until a gentleman had said to me at the conference at that time, and he said, "Oh no, this is just the beginning." And I was laughing, like, okay, that's really kind of you to say that. I said, "But no, I'm one and done." And now we're number 6,
Wow.
hosting the She Shines conference. And I just want to share that from 2019 until current today, my life has shifted
Yes.
a whole lot. I first, with being diagnosed with the breast cancer, going through the whole recovery and treatment process, and while going through that process, that's where when the conference was inspired and launched. So I was not at 100% full capacity physically,
Mm-hmm.
but I learned something through that, and I'm quite sure many of your listening audience has heard this before, that, even in our weakness, we are made strong. God
Yes.
gives us the strength. He gives us the endurance, the perseverance, that even in situations that may affect our physical health, like myself, emotionally or mentally, that there's still hope, there's still
Yes.
possibility,
Yes.
there's still, the will, your will says, okay, you got to buckle down and you will get through this. And not just for the sake of just getting through it. Okay, I'm done, I did it. But what is learned through that process and how it impacts other people who are watching.
Yeah, 100%.
Mhm.
That philosophy of it's not happening to you, it's happening for you,
Mhm.
because it will be used.
Mhm.
But will you be willing to surrender to the process and release what you think the desired outcome is going to be,
That's it.
and focus more on the process, the experience, what you're supposed to learn, how you're supposed to grow,
Absolutely.
how you're supposed to be stretched? Allow all of those things to happen, and then watch what God does with that surrender.
Absolutely. And as you mentioned earlier in your introduction, one of the words that you shared is purpose. And I'm a firm believer, not because of what others have said and I heard, but personally, I experienced this, that there is purpose in the pain.
Oh,
We don't like that. But I stand on this side now, and I can share passionately and with so much conviction that there is purpose in your pain. And pain is painful, right? But if you allow yourself, and it's hard, with the support of those who you have in your circle speaking life
yeah.
to you, right? If you allow yourself to buckle down and persevere, and allow what this painful situation, what it will produce in your life, but it's not just for you, what you produce, but for others to glean from, to grab on, to eat the fruit of what was going through that process, and now it manifests itself. I want to just quickly go back when you were talking about who would have known. I did not know in regards to when I was diagnosed with breast cancer and how we came about. I know I probably am jumping the gun here, how we came up with the name She Shines, but It was a friend of mine. He's a brand influencer, and I'll never forget. I was, making my way back to work, and I invited him and a coworker to come into the office. And I said, I really believe God wants me to do this. As a matter of fact, I know this year. And so I came up with this name for our conference. Oh, I love that name. The name was, I entitled it From the Pulpit to the Pew to the Public Square. And they looked at me. And they were like, what? I said, that's it. I said, we can create do the website, and people can type in www from the pulpit to the pew to the and I'm like, ain't nobody gonna be typing all of that. And my feelings were hurt. My feelings were really hurt. Oh my gosh. And it was PJ Owens. And he laughed at me, and Janae laughed, and they sit back. And I was like, oh, no. So PJ said, sit quietly. Let's just sit quiet. And PJ said, I got it. And he said, she shines.
Yes.
And we all lit up.
Yeah.
And I said, that's it. So I started laughing. I'm like, oh my God, that's such a cute name. I like the name. So I said, well, wait a minute, PJ, why she shines? And he said this. He said, Miss Robin, when you start sharing that you were diagnosed with breast cancer, prior to you sharing and you were already diagnosed, no one knew that you were diagnosed with breast cancer because you just kept shining through this. Your attitude, your behavior, what you were sharing with people, always uplifting and upbeat. You were shining. So we were all shocked when you announced that you were diagnosed with breast cancer. And he said, that's it. She shines. You were shining. I say that, first of all, because that is my maiden name. And guess what, Dr. V?
Yes.
That name, Shine, it's in the Bible. It's in the Bible. Let your light so shine. And so what I really want to focus on when I'm sharing this is that even in your painful situation, right? There are moments when you can still shine through it.
Yeah. And making that decision, because sometimes you're going to have to decide because your emotions won't let you feel it, but you're going to have to make the decision that even in this moment, I'm going to anchor my soul.
Yes.
And shine and believe, because even this will be used and the ashes will be traded in for beauty.
Absolutely. And you are speaking and you're telling, you're giving yourself hope, right? And others can say, just be hopeful, be upbeat, but if it's the will, but you have to embrace that. You have to own it.
Yeah.
No matter what it feels like, you're right. Because our feelings, I can feel one way today, right? And
they're
then flaky feelings, right? Like I feel like to have some ice cream right about now, right?
Y'all see she getting ready to cut up. It's just a matter of time.
That's it. But it's the feelings, and we have to submit our feelings to ultimately to God's will. He'll work all of that out. But if you don't own your decision, you gotta own it. Yeah. Right? And it's nice, as I said, to have other people speak life into you and send you nice little texts and emojis and all that, right? That's nice, but you have to believe it.
You've got to believe it.
You have to believe it. And so for me, as I was going through this journey, I began to embrace. Yeah. I know that is contrary to what, we hear and what we say, but we have to embrace and recognize this is where I am today. Yes. That does not mean that I will be in the same place tomorrow unless I make that choice and decision to say, I'm going to stay here. Nah, that was not me. No, absolutely not.
But Robin, all of everything that you're saying
Mm-hmm.
is so important and relevant. I know you're referencing 2019,
Mm-hmm.
but if we fast forwarded to today,
Mm-hmm.
there are so many women, especially Black women, who have experienced
Mm-hmm.
and are experiencing adversity and change and cancel culture and feeling
All
like
of
they're
it.
being erased and being pushed and all of those things that actually could have them in a place of feeling low and lost and devalued.
Mm-hmm.
But you decided that this year's theme
Mm-hmm.
was She Matters.
Absolutely.
Can you speak into that? Because I feel like you're connecting the dots between 2019 and today.
Absolutely. And before I answer that, I
Yes.
want to say to those who are watching now and then those who will watch at a later time, I'm not suppressing or denying, right, or ignoring the fact, the pain that I experienced, right? It's a journey,
Yes.
right? And during that time, as I was progressing through and navigating through it, I had to accept the fact that, I can't change this diagnosis.
Right.
I have to accept the diagnosis, right? Because it is a diagnosis, right?
Right.
But that doesn't mean that that's the end of it.
Right.
Right? Now, what do I do to get better? You understand? So so then I had to reach out, and I had others in the healthcare, medical care, even therapists, family, we talk about our village.
Yeah.
Now, where we are today, how I came up with that theme was really interesting. As you know, every year in November, we host a conference. And last year, this time, we were all preparing for the big election. And we were out there, right? Doing the work.
Yes.
Right? Civically engaged, right?
Yeah.
Doing our civic duty.
Yes.
And what a disappointment. Just hear me out.
Yeah.
Of the election results.
Yeah.
We gave our time, our talent, our money. We stayed up late at nights, right? Making phone calls, knocking on doors, the whole 9 yards, doing all of that, right? Hoping, because all of us, we want to change, we want to progress, we want to move forward. And what a big disappointment it was for so many. And I will say, especially the 92%, the women, Black women.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so when the results came in shortly after, and I was watching, I was shocked and like, oh, this can't be.
So many of us.
And God spoke to me. And you know what he said to me, Verdra? He said, I want you to let the women know that she matters. Even in the midst of this devastating news, the outcome, the election results. Let them know that their work, what they did, what they said leading up to it, it was not in vain, right? It appears, and it is, but I want her to know how much she matters to me. That in any decision, any outcome, right? I'm above the outcomes. I'm a sovereign God. And I can make ways out of no ways. And at that time, we did not know. Of course, we wouldn't have known what we know today. All what's happening. All what is happening. And I said, God, I like that theme. She matters.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I'll work with that, right? Let's do it. She matters, because not only God, of course, he wants us to know that we matter to him, but there are women out here on earth that, sister, you matter to me.
Yes.
In the workplace, you matter to me. At home, you matter to me. In the courtroom, sis, you matter to me. As we go into the hair shops, getting our wigs, girl, you look good. You matter. We and that's the theme. I want women to know how much they matter, no matter if they messed up today, they stumbled yesterday, they threw their hands up in the air last month, they cussed somebody out, right? They ran a red light, you still matter. Whether you aren't able, hear me, whether you're not able to put food on your child's on the table, buy him or her the fancy sneakers or the clothing, right? Whether you have cable or you don't, whether you are able to pay the cell phone or not, those things don't define you.
And when adversity hits, it can shake your identity if you're not clear on who you are and whose you are.
Exactly.
And this conference allows there to be a platform, a space, a circle of support with practical guidance and influence.
Absolutely.
From all angles to literally, if you are willing to make the decision to shake off any shackles that would have you tied to something that is not authentically or divinely yours.
Exactly.
You have an opportunity to be in a space where woman to woman and even colleague to colleague, friend to friend, sister to sister will be able to say, she matters, and give you tools to help you lift up from wherever life has tried to push you.
Exactly. And it starts from within.
It does.
It starts from within. So we deal with the heart of the matter. We deal with us, right? And then we work outside. And it's so important. And that theme, and many people, said, oh my gosh, the theme, she matters. I'm like, yeah, because you do matter. Don't ever think that you do not matter just because you don't have or you messed up, like I said earlier. No, you still matter. You're valuable. Do you know that you were created in the image and likeness of God? You matter. Absolutely. And it's important for us as women, as moms, as aunties, cousins, women in the workplace, whether you're a CEO or working in grassroots organizations, or whether you are single, whether you are a senior, right? You got to know that you matter, right? Because once you know how much you matter, it's going to resonate. It's going to manifest itself, and it's going to have an impact on our daughters. Come on now.
I was getting ready to say it becomes contagious.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And you can't stop the spread of it. That's right. I know I matter. Since I know I matter, then I'm going to act like it. I'm going to dress like it. I'm going to speak like it. I'm going to live like it, right? I'm going to shop like it, right? No, you're not going to talk to me any kind of way because you're on that side of the counter. No, I matter.
Yeah. And you did something radical this year and removed the cost and expense so that women had access.
Let me tell you, talk about access. So when the Lord told me early on, the theme is she matters, I'm all hype and excited about it. What I did not know, as I mentioned earlier, that where we are today, the climate that we're in, and it wasn't until, because I set up everything early in April, early bird registration, if you want to be a vendor, the whole 9 yards, had it all set up, putting the word out, the whole 9 yards. And Dr. V, I tell you, when God says my ways are not your ways, my thoughts are not your thoughts, right? So it wasn't until the end of June, going into the holiday, the 4th of July holiday, and God said to me, now I want you to waive the registration. We'll wait. What season am I in? All what I've been through, and how God is stretching me and developing me spiritually. Yeah. Right? I want you to waive the registration. So I said, okay, God, I'll do that. Me.
Me.
So I said, okay, I'll do it. So I limited the when I set it up, went back into the system, set it up, and registration will be waived for a certain period of time. Now I'm thinking, is summer holiday really? People normally register starting the end of August. Maybe it picks up in September. So I'm not worried about it. I get a call from someone who I did not know, and they said, "Well, I tried to register, but I can't." And I said, "Why not?" They said, "It won't let me register." I said, "You got to be kidding me." And so I'm not techie savvy, but I have to figure this out, right? And so I wind up calling Constant Contact.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I'm getting a call, and they said that they can't register. Okay, what did I do wrong? And they said, no, you didn't do anything wrong. The number that you had set for the free registration, do you know you already reached that number?
Mm.
I said, no way. And I said, yeah. So many people registered. So I said, okay. So next thing I did, I opened it up a little bit, right? Just a small increment. Same thing happened. And then I received another call. And it was an elderly woman, I could tell her voice. And she said, is this Miss Robin? And I'm like, yes, it is. And she began to share with me how she saw the social media post and she wanted to register. But at that time, she was having trouble registering. And so she was reminded. And so when she went back in, she wasn't able to register. And she was so sweet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I said, oh my gosh, I have reached our capacity, right? Listen, let her open up for her to register. So I said, well, I'll tell you what, send me all your information and email me. And I stayed on the phone while she did, and I will just add you to the list, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I got her email, it was not only her, but 4 other of her
she
girlfriends.
said, not just me. Not just me. Look, I got it.
Yes,
I got it. Y'all come on.
Yes,
Y'all come on.
She got her. So I'm like,
Yes.
oh my God, Jesus. And again, I want the women to know how much she matters to me, that I knew about this economic climate, that I did not want the women to have any excuse as to why they could not attend the conference. I want them to see that I made a way for them. That's how much she matters to me.
Yeah. It aligns with the theme.
Yep.
And making sure that in a season and time where so many women can get caught up in what they don't have,
right,
you wanted to create a space that intentionally reminded them someone sees
Absolutely.
you.
Yes, that's it. I see you. And if I'm just want to take a little time here, and I'm glad you said that, because it reminded me, and I was reminded of Hagar, who did no wrong. She was just being obedient, right? Abraham, Sarai at that time. And then she got kicked out, if you will. She had to leave after she did what she was just asked to do, her and her son. And they left, going to the wilderness, barren place. Like, how am I going to take care? Single mom. How am I going to take care of my son? How am I going to take care of me? And she kept going. Headed into a destination, and a wilderness. It was dry. It was barren. She didn't know how she was going to take care of herself or her son, right? And here is this pagan woman. Here's this pagan woman out there. And then next thing you know, she says, it's in the book. It's in Genesis. It's in the book. She says, you are the God that sees me.
Yes.
On. I'm getting so excited. Okay, calm down, Robin. Because God wants us to know that He sees us. We're never left alone.
Right.
He's going to provide for us. He's going to sustain us in our barren lands. Whatever is barren, whatever your wilderness is right now, right? I I just want the women to know, because I'm learning and have learned this, that God sees and He will never leave us nor forsake us, because we matter to Him. We really, really matter to Him.
Yeah.
And that's it. So God provided. They didn't have to have an excuse, or not excuse, their situation. Do I rob Peter to pay Paul? Paul is broke. Then I'm going to Jonathan. Jonathan hid the money, so I'm going over here to Sam. And no, you don't have to worry about that. You can come to this conference this year,
and you're not only offering sound guidance through faith, you've incorporated health, finances,
absolutely,
family, workplace. Why are those elements also included in the conference for you? Why was it important that you made it so well-rounded?
Well, simply because our 3 core pillars are civic engagement, health, wellness, and safety, and spiritual enrichment. They all connect one way or another. There's a connection here, right? And to answer your question, because we're all of us, each of us are affected, whether it's spiritual, whether it's civic engagement, vote, social justice, right? Our health. We all are affected by it. And that is what we're made up of. We no man is an island. Health and wellness, we got to take care of our bodies, right? I'm still working on that, though. Okay. Still working on that.
The strength of wellness in order to finish the assignment.
Exactly. Yeah. And it all works together. They connect. We're talking about, it's holistic.
Yeah.
It really is. And when I was planning this in the very beginning, that did not come to mind. It just happened because my body physically, I was affected. I was diagnosed with breast cancer. That's my physical body. It had an impact and effect on my emotional well-being, right? My mental well-being. Okay, now even though, thank the Lord, I have really great insurance, but nonetheless, there were some co-pays, right? And then meeting women who were waiting to be treated, and you know how we are. We start talking, and then we find out that, well, wait, some women couldn't afford. They were sharing, I don't know how I'm going to pay for this, right? And so that's the financial part of it, right? So I began to share, telephone, telegraph, back in the day, telerobin. I began to share resources, right? And I said, no, you need to connect with this person. You need to connect with that person, this organization. And that's how and then, in conversations, because I just believe God. I don't know how it's going to work out, but I just believe God. So yes, our health, our wellness, civic engagement, right? That's important, as we are now. We know now, right? And our spiritual enrichment, tapping into our faith, knowing that there is a God, right? Who sits high and looks low, because we matter. We matter to Him. And so that's my hope, that when people come, that, as we would say in church, that you don't leave the same way you came, and that you have added one more person to your contacts, right? And the beauty, one of the unique things I love about this conference is because everyone who have invited to participate, to present, to speak, in the past 5 years, and I don't expect anything differently, the majority of them, they stay. They engage with the attendees, right? I love that.
Right.
They don't run out the back door, they're not whisked away or anything like that. No, they too find themselves sitting in a workshop learning. Not only learning, but being the supportive of the presenter, right? So it's sisterhood.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's sisterhood. Access, Purpose, and Sisterhood.
Yes.
And this show is entitled The Flip Side of Adversity.
Uh,
So I'm sure you have some inspiring stories
yes.
of people who have gotten transformed, who have
Mhm.
been deeply impacted from the
Mhm.
experience. Can you share one of those with us?
Certainly. Let me see. There's thousands that's running through my mind. No, 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 no. Now I'll share one, maybe two, and that is when I spoke earlier about our senior population
Yes.
and how much they have been impacted. And I've heard
Mhm.
the stories
Yeah.
um, of them just wanting to, if you will, just get out to be amongst
Yes.
others. But here's the thing, not just within their age, same age
Mhm.
bracket, but the younger young adult women.
Yeah.
And by attending, the seniors feel as though that they have something to offer, the
Mhm.
wisdom,
Mhm.
come on, baby, sit next to me.
Mhm.
Sometimes in church, they'll just pass a mint or
Yes.
two, right?
I depend on the ones with the candy.
There you go. There you go, right? And just to sit and to hear the exchange, the conversations,
Mhm.
right, is so important to them and valuable to them.
Yeah.
And they take the information back. One lady said she took the information back and she shared it with her granddaughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Her granddaughter, right?
Robin, why is that intergenerational experience so important right now from your lens? Like when you think about generations sitting together in spaces, I know you just shared from the seniors'
Hmm.
perspective, but just in general, if you took a high level look at this concept of a space for intergenerational connection, communication, and purpose, why is that so important right now?
It is important, and it is really invaluable. It's priceless to have that relationships amongst the
Mhm.
various generations.
Mhm.
When I see, as you have, you witness, and many of us have witnessed and listened. To hear the conversations, to see
Mm.
the video posts
Mhm.
on social media, my heart saddens
Mhm.
because to see our young girls, our young ladies, right? The things that they say,
Mm.
and I don't know what happened to discretion.
Mm.
I really don't. I don't know what happened to discretion and virtue. And it's
Mm.
so important that we have to bridge this gap.
Mhm.
And many of our young adults that we see and we hear, I really believe that they're looking for
Yeah.
the guidance
Mhm.
and the
Without the
direction
shame
with
and
absolutely,
without the
yeah,
judgment.
yes. And so that's where bringing them together so they
Mhm.
can talk it
Mhm.
out, right? And for the young adults say, you make me feel when you say this,
Mhm.
that's why I don't want to say anything.
Right.
Right. That's why I clam up. That's why I give you the look. Right. And so hmm, for the older, the seniors, women to sit and listen and to hear them and
Mhm.
break through um, that exterior, the
Yeah.
hard exterior, and just listen to that. And I'm tearing up now because I'm about to share something very personal. And I just feel that to share this.
Mm.
Didn't plan to share this. Um, it has been a very difficult and challenging year for me personally over the past 3 years with the passing of my dad and my mom and the impact that it has made um, and the effect that it's made on me and then my daughter. And during some time, the communication ceased.
Mm. Mm.
I don't believe I'm saying this publicly, but I really believe the Lord wants me to share this. It was really difficult for the both of us,
Yeah.
the shutting down.
Grief. Mhm.
And it wasn't until recently couple months ago, Dr. V, when the Lord said to me, call your daughter and just tell her that you would like to invite her over, and you just want to have a listening session.
Yeah.
So I said, okay. And it was difficult because just all what has been going on, right? Beautiful young lady, love her dearly. And I called her and she said, okay. And she came over. We made a date and she came over. And I said to her, I said, you know what? I said, all I'm going to do is listen. You talk, whatever it is that's on your mind, your heart. I don't care if you go back to when you were a baby, right? You talk, and all mom is going to do is listen. And so that is what happened. And I said to her, I asked her, are you done? And so she said, yes. I said, I just want to make sure that, because I was taking notes with her permission. Oh, can you imagine the mother asking the daughter, is it okay for me to write? No, you guys got to hear this. And so she said, yes. I said, I'm only writing down so that, I'm older than you. Ha, ha, ha. I can't remember, but I'm just going to, write down things, and it's okay. And I'll share my notes with you if you don't mind. I don't have a problem with that. But I just want to make sure I capture everything. And then I'm going to take the notes and the things that I recall, and I'm just going to reflect. That's all. And so she said, sure. And can I tell you, it was not okay. Let's get together. Let's get back together so I can now respond to what you said. This is not what the Lord led me to do. You take everything that she said, everything that you wrote down, and everything, and now you bring it to me. And that was the beginning of our communication and our relationship restored.
Yeah.
So I say that because many of us as moms, we want the best for our kids,
yes,
right?
We do.
And somehow, even though as they get older, we still want to mother them. And at least for me, I wasn't taught, like in a classroom setting, if you will, as your child gets older, now this is how you have to shift, right? They're no longer 5, 6, 10, 18 years old. Now they're young adults. You're still their parent, but now this is how you guide them. And begin to build on now the adult relationship.
That's a whole workshop in and of itself.
A whole workshop. But I want to I just want to emphasize when we talk about the intergeneration, because most of the time, we're not hearing each other, even though we may love each other, but the feelings come in, right? You're not hearing me. So either or both begin to shut down. And then we go back to our corners. Now we're mad, we're upset. And then how the enemy start throwing things in your head, these thoughts, and the whole 9 yards. And it's not good. It's not healthy. And so it's the breakthrough. When we talk to Jesus and when he instructs us and tells us what to do against how we feel, and we obey and we watch him work it out. And what it took was just a listening session with me being quiet. How about that, folks? Right? Me being quiet and me listening.
You just gave someone a blueprint, whether it's mother and daughter, or it's, father and son, or it's even between partners, married couples. Do we actually pause enough to create space to truly listen, not defend, crosstalk, try to fix in the
Right.
moment, but actually be vulnerable
That's it.
as well as open
Hmm.
to truly sit in the space that may be uncomfortable and scary,
Hmm.
but actually listen, not so it turns out the way you want it to, but
Absolutely.
it turns out in a way that leads to healing,
Yes.
restoration, growth. But that requires our willingness to do the things that we may not feel like doing,
Hmm.
but doing the things that we know are necessary because we have made the decision that we are not going to
Yep.
stay where we currently are. This is
Absolutely.
not where our relationship was destined to be. This is
Right.
not the life I was destined to have.
Right.
This is not who I
Hmm.
have been destined to be.
Hmm.
But that really requires that vulnerability, that space, and the ability to listen.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. And all of those things, the um, feeling it's a risk, the vulnerability, because the truth of the matter is all of us, we want to be right because we are right. Right. I don't care what you say, we're right. And I'm standing on it 10 toes down,
Mhm.
right? Um, but also at the core, at the heart of that, that's pride.
Oh, yes. 100%.
It's pride.
100%.
And none of us really like to look at ourselves really in the mirror.
Mhm.
In the mirror, not all dressed up, not with the makeup on, not with the beautiful hairstyles, not with the manicures or the pedicures, but just stand there and to look at yourself in the mirror
Mhm.
and examine me, into me
Mhm.
see,
Mhm.
right? And it takes a lot. We got to sort through all of that. For some people, perhaps not me, it didn't happen to me, or that it happens overnight. It's a process, but you got
Mhm.
to keep working at it. It's like when you are having a house built,
Mhm.
right? You don't put the walls up first, right? You don't run the electrical system. You don't, get the 75-inch television screen, right? No, you got to dig deep. You got to dig the foundation. You got to break that foundation, making sure that that soil, that foundation is right for the house
Mhm.
that you so desire to live in.
Yeah.
And knowing as you're building that house, your contractors are building that house, understand you're going to go through some seasons. That house is not, you're
Mhm.
not going to start in the beginning of summer and it's up. It's going to go through the summer, the winter, the fall. And during the winter time, we can't get out there because there's so much snow, right? Even with the plans, the architects, the blueprints, now that it's all finalized, and as we begin to build, what we thought we want the kitchen here,
Mhm.
right, or the living room here, we need to
Pivot.
pivot. So all of that comes into play, especially when we talk about um, desiring to have healthy um, relationships.
Mhm. And with everything that you said, not only
Mm-hmm.
healthy relationships, healthy finances,
Mm-hmm.
healthy physical
Mm-hmm.
wellness,
Mm-hmm.
healthy engagement
Mm-hmm.
within our communities. You've
Absolutely.
created a foundation um, through different platforms
Mm-hmm.
and relationships with others, the
Mm-hmm.
network that you
Mm-hmm.
have that comes to this space. So, with over 500 women already, 400 women already registered.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and many of them are connected to underrepresented groups
Yeah.
with backgrounds, various backgrounds. Um, what are you hoping to happen this year? I know she matters, is the theme, but you already have.
You
And we
know?
still got a week left to
Yes.
go.
Mm-hmm.
You already have over 400 women.
Mm-hmm.
What message of hope are you hoping to bring? I want you to talk right into the camera
Is that there right there? Is right here? Which one? Okay.
Talking to the camera, what message of hope do you desire to deposit?
The message of hope that I desire to deposit by way of this conference, and that every single woman will walk out the doors, is knowing, we talked about knowing that she matters, but knowing that as long as you have breath and you're on this side of heaven, right? No matter what it looks like, there's still, and I'll use the word, there's still hope. You're still living, you're still breathing. And knowing that there is someone, you may not know her or him or that resource or that hospital, but everything that you so desire and you need, it exists.
Mhm.
It's there.
Mhm.
It's there. So you will not walk away empty handed, right? But you will have the knowledge. And I'm really hoping that you will have exchanged your phone number with one person, just one person, and that you will connect with her within the next 6 months and begin to reflect and remember and recall and to share in that 6-month period from the conference, right? How you have applied what you have heard, your experience. Who did you share it with? That's my hope. I want people, I want them to not keep it to themselves.
Mhm.
Just that one person,
Mhm.
whoever he or she is, right? Even if you post it on social media, right? And knowing that it is transformative.
Mhm.
A seed was planted.
Yeah.
A seed was planted.
So can people still register, or is registration closed?
I knew you was going to ask me
well,
that
you know we
question.
have to
'cause
ask that question.
I know.
You've been sitting here talking about it.
But my poor heart, and the team is going to get so upset with me. I am my mother and father's child.
Okay.
And it was like, pack them in. If they can come, and they're going to say, well, how are we going to feed the folks? That's God's business, right?
Mm.
Oh, Father. So.
How can people register if you're still taking registrations?
If you really, really, really want to come, and I know you really, really, really want to come, right? I'm going to say, if you contact me directly through my email address,
Okay.
if you contact me,
them.
and I'm going to give it to you, and it's celebrating sisterhood, the number 1 at gmail.com. And in the subject matter, just say, I watched Dr. V on the flip side of adversity, and I heard you on her show. So that way I can track, right?
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
I can track, okay, they were watching and they want to
watching.
come. So yes, if they want to come, we'll work it out.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. That's what we do, though, right?
Yes,
Sisters,
always.
we always figure things out, right?
Yes.
But we will figure it out. You know, and I say that sincerely. I know, like I said, the team is going, oh my God, Robin, and oh gosh, we got to rope you in.
Figure it out.
But nonetheless, right?
Celebrating Sisterhood 1
At gmail.com.
gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
And in the subject line, I watched Dr. V.
Yes.
And you might get in.
We'll work it out. Even if when I speak to you, or we have someone speak to you about it, we'll work it out. We will work it out. I believe, and here's my faith. This is what I believe, and I know I'll end with this. Jesus told Peter was fishing all night long. He was an experienced fisherman. He knew the temperature. He knew the time of day, when to catch fish. For some reason, when he was out that day early in the morning, but he wasn't able to catch any fish. And so he's like, come on, little guys, let's wrap it up. We didn't catch anything. And Jesus said to him, go back and cast your net on the other side. And when he cast his net on the other side, the scripture said that it was so much fish that the net began to break. Right? They had to all come together. Sisterhood, they had to come together. We got all these fish, right? And so I liken this year's conference to that. Casting my net on the other side.
Yeah.
And knowing that there are people out there watching and listening. And they're not going to leave me out there hanging, trying to bring the fish in, but they're going to come alongside that sisterhood, right? And say, okay, we're going to help you bring the fish in so that people can be fed.
Yeah.
So that is the reason why, even though I said deadline to, closing it, but every time, like you just said, okay, so how can people, okay, God, I hear you. So
Here we are.
If they want to come, God will make a way.
What an inspiring and joyful conversation tonight with Robin Maddox. When we are able to actually lean in as women and truly live what we teach, Robin reminded us that access opens doors, purpose gives those doors meaning, and sisterhood keeps them open for others to walk through. When women come together across differences, experiences, and stories, we create more than just a movement. We actually create legacy, and it is light. So here's your challenge. As we close out this conversation, don't wait for permission to walk in to your purpose. Don't hide your shine because the world feels dark. And most of all, don't journey alone. I want you to link arms as Robin has created this image for us. I want you to link arms with sisters, stand in your truth, and remember your very being means that you have purpose. So until next time, keep shining, because when one woman shines, we all shine. And I'm excited to say that the flip side of adversity is going to be at She Shines. And so Keith and I are taking it on the road.
Yes.
And so next week, join us, not on Thursday, but see us on Saturday.
Yes.
November 1st, we will be coming live at She Shines Conference, and we will be having amazing flip side conversations with guests and speakers all across the conference, and we can't wait to share content with you. We'll see you next week.